everyone. Welcome again to Special Presentation with Mike and Ethan. Or,
Elf will not be seen tonight.
Mike, what's your favorite thing that you grew up with and then it became dark and gritty and adult?
I guess Batman?
Yeah,
Is that like it?
I think that's a
Yeah,
big. I think that's a big one because I'm pretty sure that has a lot to do with what we're looking at today. The 1989 Batman movie really flipped everyone's view of Batman on its head because so many people who hadn't been reading the comics only knew Batman from the 1966 series with Adam West. So the 1989 Michael Keaton Batman, there was like, oh, is this how it works? Okay, we're going to do this with everything from now on. Now, anything that we make a movie of, it has to be dark and gritty, and people have to talk like this.
yeah. It was a whole new grid. We were moving from the 80s into the 90s.
Yeah.
And and the thing we're looking at today is kind of a transitional species, you might say, from that period.
Absolutely.
Because it does kind of combine the wacky party atmosphere of the late 80s with the darker, gritty atmosphere of the early 90s.
While also being one of the last examples of I think you'll agree is one of the best things about the 80s was the dark puppet fantasies.
Yes, absolutely. This is a prime example of what we're talking about with the dark puppet fantasy movies.
Because it is still the month of Mayrio, we have finally come to the 1993 Super Mario Brothers movie, featuring Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo and Dennis Hopper and Big Bertha.
Yeah. and Mojo Nixon.
Mojo Nixon. Richard's brother.
Elvis is everywhere Nixon, as you Documento fans probably know him. And in fact, everyone knows him. It's the only thing he's known for, but except for this movie, which he's in. So it's the Super Mario Brothers movie. Now I have a question. This is the second Mario Brothers movie, official Mario Brothers movie, after the Mario Brothers Save the Princess movie.
Yeah, and then the Wizard, which it occurred to me only after we watched it, is a movie about Mario and brothers, but not the Mario Brothers.
Yes. And then now I think, is this the third ever personification of the Mario Brothers? This is before the Mario Brothers Super Show? Or...
It's after the Mario Brothers Super Show. Actually, it might... Actually, it's after the Mario Super Show, after the Adventures of Super Mario Brothers 3, after the Super Mario World.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, we had seen a lot of cartoon takes on Mario, not to mention in comics and stuff.
Okay, so right off the bat, some bonkers decisions being made here at this point in time.
Absolutely bonkers.
Now, I will say, I'll say it right now. I love this movie. I think I really like it. But my feelings on it are very much like the Masters of the Universe movie, which I also love, but you have to just assume it is not actually have anything to do with... It's not an actual Master of the Universe movie, and this is not an actual Mario Brothers movie. It's something else. I assume actually it probably was originally supposed to be something else, kind of a...
it feels like it, doesn't it? It feels like they had a set for a whole other movie, and then they were like, okay, let's make Mario and Luigi the main characters of this.
Yeah, yes. It feels like they did a Starship Troopers here. But the result is definitely singular. There's never been a movie like this, and there never will be one again. It's your favorites, the Mario Brothers, as you've never seen them before. They're gonna be adult.
Yes,
I guess kind of adult. It's sort of adult.
One of my favorite, batshit takes on this movie was that somebody, I don't even remember who it was, so it's going to sound like I'm just making up a guy to get mad at. Somebody said like, what were they thinking? Making a movie for kids with no kids in it.
What?
What? I gotta tell you, when I saw this as a kid, I did not think it would have been better for the inclusion of a kid.
No. What? How did you feel about this movie when you were a kid? Because
I
I think
loved
you
it.
were okay. This is interesting because um, I've talked to quite a few people about this movie, and I remember at the time, like that it came out, like even watching television, like MTV, where they interviewed gamers. They brought on a bunch of this strange species called gamers, and they asked them their opinions on this movie, and all kids that I knew or heard talk about it basically said, "We love this movie. You just have to understand it has nothing to do with Mario. It's its own thing."
Yes.
And I think that's interesting because all the critics absolutely hated it, and I think that was probably partly because it's a kids movie and they just hate kids movies. Yeah, and also it's based on a video game and they just want to hate something that's based on a video game. Like I think a lot of critics were like, "Oh, it's a video game movie. I guess kids are gonna play stupid kids. I hate them."
Yeah.
Um,
And
because
sometimes the critics aren't wrong, because I remember getting off the subject of Super Mario Brothers. Do you remember the Powerpuff Girls movie?
I remember that it existed, but I
Yes.
never actually saw it.
Now, now it was Roger Ebert who said that there was absolutely no personality given to these characters. They might as well be icons. And I was like, "What the fuck, dude? Everyone knows the Powerpuff Girls personalities. How
Yeah.
could you have missed them?" And then I saw the movie and I was like, "Oh shit, they forgot to put their personalities in the movie."
How did they do that? Because they're pretty.
Because they were not the focus of the movie. It was, it's sort of like Batman Returns, where Batman is kind of a guest star in his own movie. This was much more a origin story for Mojo Jojo.
Oh, okay. That's a weird. That's an interesting take to on this movie. That's okay. Was it any good?
There are episodes of the show that are much, much better.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I guess there's a reason nobody ever talks about the Powerpuff Girls movie.
Yes.
It's not fondly remembered like say the SpongeBob movie
Yes.
or the Mario Brothers movie.
I think I told the story already that when I told some friends that I'd literally never seen any SpongeBob cartoons, and they were like, "Well, what ones do you recommend if you wanted to introduce me to it?" And it started like this 30-minute argument because no one could agree when SpongeBob got good versus when SpongeBob got bad.
Oh,
And
it's
we
like
have
arguing about The Simpsons.
Yeah, and we eventually watched the movie because it was the only thing they could all agree on.
The movie's entertaining.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's pretty decent. But yeah, the Mario Brothers movie. So the critics did not like it. I think they basically branded this like one of the worst movies ever made.
It has
And
something like a 13% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I think that's bonkers. I feel like there should be a reassessment of this film because it is so weird and dark, but it's so much fun. It's just such a strange combination of things. It shouldn't work. I mean, from what I understand, it had a very troubled production,
Oh
and
boy, it had such a troubled production. I mean, I was talking about it with a friend, and he said, "I heard the script was rewritten a million times because the husband and wife director team were constantly fighting." And I said, "It's more like the script was rewritten a million times, and the husband and wife director were constantly fighting."
oh, I heard, and this sounds strange. I never understood this. That at the end, like Bob Hoskins was the one who cobbled together the version that we actually saw in
Yeah,
theaters.
this seems to be a Bob Hoskins. Bob Hoskins kind of took leadership on this, and also developed a drinking problem because it was such a
Oh,
miserable experience.
I have heard him say that it is like the worst, the worst movie of his career.
Yeah, he
Worst
had to
movie
become the
experience.
leader, and I think he hated being the leader.
I mean, he had to be the Mario that we all needed.
Yeah, he really.
Um,
So honestly, I think a Super Mario Brothers movie about the making of Super Mario Brothers 1993 would be pretty amazing.
that would be, the oral history of Super Mario Brothers 1993 would be pretty. Has someone not? I'm sure someone must have done this already because. I don't know. Well, I'm sure that when we post this, we'll get the guy who redid the Mario Brothers movie. Will
Yeah,
will reply on
yeah.
Blue
The
Sky.
guy who has a permanent search on mentions of Super Mario Brothers 1993 and responds to everything and corrects you. You know,
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
not mad at him. I appreciate it. I'm glad you love it so much. I wish I loved
Yeah.
anything as much as you love this movie.
The same guy did the same thing for the Raggedy Ann and Andy movie, and I know this because every time I post about like I fucking hate the Raggedy Ann and Andy movie, it traumatized me for life, and now I'm a weirdo pervert because of it. He responds with like, I recut that movie. You can watch it here, and it's like maybe read the tweet you're responding to, man. You know?
No, I mean, and to be fair, that movie didn't make you a weirdo pervert. You already were one.
Yeah, but I mean, it didn't help. It didn't
Yeah,
hurt.
it pushed you
didn't hurt.
it pushed you further. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I see. I was always destined to get. I was always destined to like, you know, be that thing. But now I am double. Anyway, but Mario Brothers, the movie. It's okay. First of all, first of all, what? Okay, should we just mention the basic plot of this movie?
Okay.
Okay.
The basic plot of this movie is that the two Mario brothers who are going broke working as plumbers in Brooklyn encounter a young woman who is working on a dinosaur dig in the middle of Brooklyn, who has discovered a strange cavern full of half human, half dinosaur shapes. Soon it becomes clear that not only are these not transitional fossils, but very recent, but she herself is from an alternate universe where dinosaurs evolved into human forms, which was a universe which was formed when the asteroid struck Earth. This movie posits that it happened in Brooklyn as opposed to in Chihulub.
Yeah, this is a controversial theory.
Yes.
But so already you might notice several diversions from the Mario Brothers canon. They are still plumbers.
They are still plumbers.
That's,
Not that
yeah.
ever comes up in the games.
No, but it does come up a lot in this movie, and I like that. I like that they actually saved the day several times with their plumbing skills.
Yes.
I'm glad that they're not fucking storekeepers. You know.
You never give up on that one.
Yeah, come on. What are you doing, Nintendo? What are you doing there? But anyway, but I also this is kind of a really cool and interesting premise, first of all.
Yeah, it really is. And its connection to Super Mario Brothers is so incredibly tenuous. It's because the most recent game, Super Mario World, involved Mario, Luigi, and the princess going on a vacation to the nearby kingdom of Dinosaur Land.
Okay.
That is where they met Yoshi.
Okay, I did not know that. I actually thought the connection was even more tenuous. I literally thought it was like, well, I guess they were like turtles, dinosaurs, whatever, same difference. But yeah, so that is there's also the fact that like we have a very basically this is a very typical thing of movies in the 80s and 90s, and also especially dark puppet fantasies, where the bad guy wants to get a MacGuffin, which is going to cause the universes to merge back together for reasons. Yeah. Why? It's basically there's a bit of the asteroid that came off, but if you put that bit in, the dinosaur world, which got thrown into a parallel dimension, will merge with our world, which is in the regular dimension. And why that would happen, who the fuck knows or cares? But it's the sort of thing that happens so often that when you hear it, you're like, yeah, that sounds logical.
Yep.
And I do love that about film.
It occurs to me that in that context, this is almost a like low budget remake of The Dark Crystal.
Yeah, I see it. I mean, there definitely there's a lot of parallels. It feels it's spiritual kin to The Dark Crystal. So
the Goombas are like the Garthim.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they kind of are. I mean, they fulfill the same function, and they're just as smart. But that does remind me, we do have Goombas in this world. There's, well,
We
let's say,
kind of do.
okay, kind of. Okay, so here's the thing. So we have the Mario Brothers. Let's talk about the Mario Brothers.
Yes, we have
Um,
Bob Hoskins as Mario, and you know you can't say he's not giving his all. I think he's really selling the Brooklyn accent.
I do really like his take on Mario. I think he's really good. I love this version of the character. It's definitely not the Mario that we know from every other iteration. It's more what I imagine I think what everyone imagined Mario was like before, when he was just Jumpman, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
Like when you see him on the screen, you kind of imagine, oh yeah, he's probably like, hey, it's me, Mario. Hey, how's it going? Like that. But
right.
like, then you actually hear him in the cartoons, and he's like, "It's me, Mario." So this is a
Well, you hear him in the
throwback,
video
but
game, but in the cartoons, he would be like, "The Adventures of Super Mario Brothers 3 will be back in a few minutes."
oh, so Bob Hoskins isn't even as far off
Yeah,
as
Mario
I would have
always
thought.
had a kind of a gruff voice up until Super Mario 64 when they introduced the voice of Charles Martinet.
Yeah, I think so I enjoy this take on Mario. I think I feel like he's a real likable
Yeah.
gruff big brother figure.
One thing that's interesting about this movie, when you compare it to every other Mario thing ever, is that Mario himself is not really the main character. It's both of them who are the main character.
Yeah, well, it is the Mario Brothers movie, and I
Yeah.
like that they remembered that, because the relationship between the brothers is really the glue that holds
Yeah.
this whole thing together.
That's
You know?
exactly what Bob Hoskins says. I actually have in my hands a magazine from 1993, a Cinefantastic magazine with a huge article about Super Mario Brothers.
Oh, hey, we're doing some fucking research for this
We
one.
sure fucking
If
are.
peop-
Yeah.
You're gonna learn
Now,
something, people.
so this is where we learn some hilarious things, like how the city that they live in is actually called Dino Hatton. Get it, like
Okay.
Manhattan?
Oh, that's funny. I like that.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's also called Dino Yark. That doesn't make any sense.
No,
So
that's not good.
yeah.
No, no.
But here I have
Um,
this interview with Bob Hoskins where it says Hoskins is noted as an actor for his extensive preparation, but had little to go on to flesh out Mario's cartoon character. Basically, all I could really go for was the relationship between me and John. I think he came up with the same idea. If we work as a pair of brothers, then no matter what situation we're in, it'll have as much reality as possible.
yeah, he's right. Look, movies live or die in their characters, and I think like this one works probably as well as it does because the relationship between Luigi and Mario does feel so real.
Yes.
Luigi says at one point like that they don't have any parents. Basically, Mario raised Luigi.
Yeah.
And
Also, it
it
kind of
feels that way.
implies that Luigi might be a foundling.
Maybe though, yeah, that's a good. Yeah, you're right. There is that. So
I wonder
maybe
if they were implying that maybe he too was a dinosaur.
maybe were they trying to do the Star Wars thing, and it's going to turn out that like Daisy and Luigi are actually brother and sister. They didn't do that. They didn't go that route. But yeah, there is yeah, because the princess in this one is not Peach.
No, it's
Daisy.
Daisy. Daisy was first introduced in Super Mario Land for the Game Boy, and since then has often been paired with Luigi, even though it was Mario who rescued her. Or so they say. I mean, Game Boy does have a green screen that might have just been Luigi.
That's a good point. The thing about Daisy is every time that they say her name or she introduces herself, all I can hear in my head is "Hi, I'm Daisy."
Yeah.
But Daisy is played by an
Samantha
actress.
Mathis.
Yes, and she's good. She's
Yeah.
good. She doesn't have, unfortunately, like they don't. She is typical like 90s love interest, so they don't give her a whole lot to work with.
Yeah, she
She's
dresses
basically
like
the
Blossom.
yeah, that was a big thing back then. Like, look at how what's her name, Linda Hamilton is dressing in Jurassic Park. Is it Linda Hamilton?
Is
I
that
can't
Linda
remember the
Hamilton?
actress's
I
name.
forget. No,
You know
it's
what?
someone else.
I apparently don't remember the names of actresses because I'm very sexist, and I don't regard their work with respect. No, I'm joking. Yeah, no, she dresses very 90s in that way where they were like, oh, okay, like give her like a yeah, like I don't know, like she's wearing like a giant like baggy vest and no shorts.
Yeah.
It's an
It
odd
really, she's really
combination.
dressed. She's not dressed to do archaeology. She's more dressed to, or paleontology. She's not dressed like a paleontologist. She's dressed like she's about to have a mute, cute scene with Luigi where they try on funny hats.
Yeah, I think they were all. I think what they were trying to do is like, yeah, make her like a sexy paleontologist, but not too sexy. And they came up with
Yeah,
this,
she
and
has
it's just
to. She
like,
has to have a kind of girl next door energy because she is dating the younger plumber.
yeah, yeah. But
Notice that in this one, Mario and Luigi are very disparate ages, whereas if you ask Nintendo proper, they will say Mario is the older brother by like a few minutes because they're twins.
I like this version. I
Me
like
too.
this a
I always
lot.
kind of prefer that Luigi be, a couple of years younger, but
Yeah. I think so let's see. I think Luigi, so John Leguizamo plays Luigi,
yeah, this was my
and
introduction to John Leguizamo. He's, he is very good in this, I think.
he's a highly underrated actor.
Yes.
Because everything I've seen him in, he kills it. He's great in this. He's great in Romeo plus Juliet. I think it was Wong Fu with
That's
Wong
right.
He
He wasn't. Was it
yeah.
Tuong Fu or was it Priscilla Queen of the Desert? I forget.
Oh, I'm not sure.
I get
One of
those
them.
two confused so much.
Yeah.
He was in
But
Spawn, but I never saw that.
oh, that's right. He was Clown in Spawn.
Yeah.
Well, he tried his best. He's generally like, I mean, he's one of those he always gives it his all, and he's generally pretty entertaining. I think he got a lot of when he got a lot of hate at the height of his career, as much hate as a celebrity can get in a pre-social media age. And I think it really was basically that I don't like him because he's young and hot and ethnic.
Yeah.
You know, he was kind
But
of
then he got
perceived
old
as
enough
like,
to start making money on the Ice Age franchise. So
oh, that's right, he plays someone
Sid,
in that.
yeah, Sid the
Oh,
Sloth.
okay.
Yeah, and
Oh, okay.
and I almost forgot he was in Moulin Rouge as shoot, what's that guy's name?
Oh,
Toulouse-Lautrec.
yeah. Okay. Yes.
I was about
So
to say he
he's
was the guitar, but no, he had other roles than that.
yeah. He's been in a lot of stuff, and he's like I said, underrated. Always doing good. He does real good in this. I like that. They've kind of the difference between Luigi and Mario in this is they're kind of like Mario's kind of the he's the serious practical one, and Luigi's the dreamer.
Yeah.
And we know this because Luigi is always watching like unsolved mystery analog shows, and he's got a real interest in like the supernatural and the unexplained, which comes into play because they then encounter something that's very unexplained.
Yes.
And have an adventure. But yeah, so they're both great. John Leguizamo and Mario, whatever's Bob Hoskins, and Samantha Princess.
Yes.
Love them all.
This movie follows the tradition set forth by the Super Mario Brothers Super Show that Mario is in fact their last name.
Yeah, which I remember as a kid thinking that was kind of silly, but also thinking like, well, I mean, they are called the Mario Brothers,
Yes.
so that is accurate,
But if you're a Zoomer, you call them the Mario Bros.
Oh well, if you're Gen Alpha, you call them Super Mario Bros.
Bros. Yeah, Bros. And it's not Dr. Mario either, it's Der Mario.
Der Mario. All right. So, let's see. There's some other names in this movie that we should mention.
Yes.
Okay?
Most notably Dennis Hopper.
Yes. Okay. So, Dennis Hopper. Okay.
We've talked before about how every villain in the 80s was based on Donald Trump. but none have been more Trump than King Koopa in this movie.
Now, yeah, I have a question. Now, was that has to be intentional, right? Has it been said that it's
It
based
was
on Trump?
absolutely
Because
intentional. He lives in a
okay,
tower. He has ridiculous looking hair,
yep, and
and he owns
you know,
everything.
yeah,
He has his
and
face on the money.
yep. He's also a huge germaphobe, which is also uh, canonical Trump. Like Trump is known for that, and which makes me wonder all the more. Is like, did Dennis Hopper know Trump like personally? Because that's a very deep cut.
You gotta. I
Um,
wonder who involved in this movie had in fact lived in New York, because at that time, you couldn't really live in New York and avoid him.
yeah. So I mean, like, this is confirmed. This has been stated that this is a Donald Trump not impersonation, but a analog,
Uh,
right?
I
Like
I don't know
someone
if
has
anyone
said
ever
it.
said it out loud, but it's just like, come on, how can it not
Well,
be?
yeah, yeah.
You
Um,
can't make you can't tease us this much and then just be like, oh wow, it's like Trump? How could that happen?
I mean, it's more like I feel like yeah, in '93, if you were like a New York person, you'd probably be like, I get it. Now everyone knows because holy shit, it is such an incredible Trump. Um, Dennis Hopper is just really like nails it in such a it's hard to really define exactly because I was watching this movie and I was trying to figure out like what is it about Trump that's his unique Trumpness, right? Because he's a very specific kind of evil, and you don't. I feel like you see evil business guy in movies a lot,
Yeah,
but not like this. Um, I
I
think.
I
Oh,
mean,
sorry.
I think the fact that he's a fucking pervert has something to do with it. I
I
mean,
no,
the
you are.
part
I think
where
you're right.
he's got Samantha Mathis all alone, and he says something like, "You know what they say about little girls? They never forget their first kiss from a lizard." It's like, no, you
Oh
had to
God.
throw little girls in there. Go.
Yeah, like this is. It is. Yeah, he is a huge pervert in like a really in
Not in the
a
way that
really
Mike and I call each
not
other pervert
no, no,
affectionately.
no.
No, no.
Not the good kind of pervert. He's really like upsetting. Like in that scene is like, oh, he's gonna rape her in a
Yeah.
children's movie. Like,
Yeah,
I
this
think.
movie needed a kid in it, didn't it?
Well, the thing is, not only is he like a pervert, and he's got that like weird germophobia thing. Um, I think also the fact that he does not like I think a lot of movie villains, especially like evil businessmen, they come across in movies. The big one is like very like suave, very sophisticated. Kind of like a cold, calculating villain. And I think the thing about Dennis Hopper's take here that is so Trump is that he is just okay. No, you know what it is? It's like Daisy mentions when she finds that skeleton, where it's like this was like a monster pretend trying to be a human, and that's really what exactly what Dennis Hopper's thing is
Yeah.
because he's so like he resorts to like violence and like rage so easily,
Yeah.
like there's a scene where he is pretending to be like a public defender and he's trying to trick the Mario brothers into like giving him that little
The
meteorite
meteorite piece,
MacGuffin we mentioned
yeah. The
earlier,
rock, as
and
they call it.
yeah, and he basically says like, "So I'm your public defender. Do you have the rock?" And they're just like, "What rock?" And he immediately attacks them and tries to gouge Luigi's eyes out. Like no chill at all. This guy just immediately is
He
like,
drops all pretense because he just cannot control his tyrannosaur rage. See,
yeah,
instead of being a giant spiky turtle, he is explicitly said to be descended from Tyrannosaurus, which is why he's always doing the autism hands.
Oh, is that it's stellar performance here.
Yes.
I think Dennis Hopper is like he's not my favorite actor, but he is great at being psychotic. There's a
Yeah.
reason everyone remembers Frank Booth, and he is the man to play this part. He's so hateable, so hateable.
That's one another
Everything.
thing that makes him Trump-like.
Yeah, I mean, because like, there's a lot of times where you watch a movie and you're like, "Oh, I like watching this villain because he's very evil," but like, you kind of like he's kind of cool, or else he's just. But like, there's no. This villain is like you just hate everything about him. He's just he's so awful. Everything he's not like witty. Like he says shit like I like about mud. It's clean and it's dirty at the same time. And it was like gross. He's just yeah he's an awful rapist and
Yeah.
just also like yeah his we do also learn from the deleted bits because we watched the extended cut.
Uh-huh.
There's a little bit where they explain that like they're like, oh yeah, different Koopas run every year. One year Koopa the Sensitive ran, then Koopa the Environmentalist, and it's all like it's just him changing his title, his
Yeah.
platform. But but he's like, well, and Mario's like, what if someone else ran against Koopa? And they're like, oh, Koopa wouldn't like that. And it's like, yeah, this is like. They've predicted the Trump presidency.
They really
This is
have.
America under Trump, And let's I guess talk about this version of America, this alternate universe where King Trump is in charge of
Yes,
things.
Dino Hatton is, as they
Dino
called it
Hatton.
in the, as they called it on the set, but apparently never get around to saying in the movie, is the only city, and the rest of it is all desert.
Yes, and that is another Trump-like thing because he wants to wage war against us to take against the other universe to take its resources. So it's basically like starting a pointless war for oil. Interesting.
Yep.
Any analogs there?
Yeah. Speaking of oil, did you notice one of the most interesting things that, again, they never draw attention to, at least not in the original cut, is that everything is powered like bumper cars. Because
Oh yeah.
because they have no fossil fuels.
Oh, I never drew that connection. That was why they did that. That is incredibly clever. I like that a lot.
Yes. Here's
This movie is like
here's some more from that magazine. We have here's a quote about the design of Dino Hatton. He says, "We took basic New York architecture and New York elements, but it's more aggressive because it's carnivorous society that descended from the dinosaurs. One of the shops is a plain but completely equipped donut shop, Drippy's Donuts. Those are raw meat donuts. People are into meat here. No shots are planned to take place in Drippy's, but it must be ready if the camera should focus in the window's direction." Snyder pointed to a pile of trucks which had been crushed and mangled. "It's sort of like a kid's idea of the world. There's no traffic lights, no traffic patterns. Cars just go and bang into one another. They have no fossil fuels because dinosaurs never went extinct on this world. Everything runs on electricity. There's no wood visible because they used all their resources. There's nothing left."
wow. It's America.
Yeah, I never noticed that. Yeah, there isn't any wood. It's all metal.
Yeah, this is I mean there's an incredible amount of detail put into this world. It's a very again, this is an 80s dark puppet comedy and it's taking place kind of at the tail end of, the New York is hell era when we all thought like, "Oh, you got to go to New York to get murdered."
Before Disney took over Times Square.
Exactly. So it's got this very like dark kind of it feels like kind of Streets of Fire vibe. Everything is metal, everything is sparking. I love it. It looks like I don't know what you would really call this look. It's kind of like it's not steampunk, it's not cyberpunk, it's kind of that in between like electropunk maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I would say that cyberpunk actually fits pretty well, but
Yeah. I mean, it's like it's the similar idea where you take a specific technological error and you kind of ramp it up to 11.
oh yeah,
It's
that's literally
still,
what the guy says. His quote here is aggressive, aggressive. It's taking everything in New York and turning it up to the 10th power.
Oh, there you go. We could go higher than that. But yeah, it feels like it's like it's very much like Brazil, which was also kind of taking that mid-century technology and like really exaggerating it. And I'll say that like if I had a nickel for every movie where Bob Hoskins played every electropunk movie where Bob Hoskins plays a plumber, I'd have two nickels. But it's still weird it happened twice.
Oh, speaking of which, here's another quote from this. Hoskins is renowned for the number of odd jobs he worked at before becoming an actor, almost by accident, and like Mario, his resume includes a brush with plumbing. I wasn't very good, says Hoskins. The plumber was up on the ladder, and I was his mate, holding a glow lamp. It was on one of those streets where these amazing-looking women pass. Well, I started looking at the women, and the glow lamp went straight on the sole of his boots and made the nails in his boot red hot. That was the end of my career as a plumber.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I like that he's like a cartoon thing where it's like a sexy woman goes by.
You gave him a cartoon hot foot.
And Bob Hoskins is like, yowza, what a scorcher. Like
Jessica Rabbit
on the
by.
head. Yeah, he's hitting himself with a giant mallet, you know. Oh yeah, because he does know Jessica Rabbit, so you know.
Yeah, he talks about that in this. He said, I didn't like the script at first. I didn't really want to do another kids' film. I'd done Roger Rabbit. I'd done Hook. I didn't want to be like Dick Van Dyke. But they kept sending me scripts, and they kept getting better. Eventually, I was like, yeah, all right, I'll do it.
I guess they really wanted him for this movie, yes. And I can see why.
But the thing about these scripts is what they did was they sent everybody different scripts that were tailored specifically to appeal to that actor. And then they all showed up and they got totally different scripts.
That's kind of fucked up.
It really is fucked up.
So I wonder, do we know what the different scripts looked like? I
would love to see them, but no. I've seen a early script that was much more in keeping with the video game, where there's a pretty cool ending where instead of a rock, what they're chasing after is the princess's crown, which grants wishes. And King Koopa has gotten it on, and Mario has goaded him into growing it a giant size, which makes him more and more dangerous. But it also means that he's too big to wear the crown, and it falls off.
Oh, that's very Mario Brothers.
It is
the game. Now I really like the dark. I like the dark electro-punk vibes of this movie.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they went with this. I like how, like everything, not just, there are so many little details that you show, it's a dinosaur world. Like, all the clothing has like spikes on it. It looks great. The cops all have these bizarre, almost like GIMP outfits with like big puffy like spiky arms,
and they have bulldozer blades on the front of their cars.
Oh yeah, I love that their back of their cars have like a literal like prison bars, like just a door from a prison, and everything just looks, and the bit where the jails, which are just literally like warehouses with like the cages you have at the pound, and they do have that bit where when they meet with Koopa pretending to be their lawyer, they're in this like kind of this little office that's just there in the middle of that. It's got no roof and it's got like plastic walls.
Yeah. Sometimes they didn't try very hard to disguise that this is all built in an abandoned cement factory.
I mean, they really leaned into it, and it works. Work with what you got, because everything about this is just. Yeah, it's just, there's so much set dressing. I mean, you see like a woman walking around with like a big egg in her stroller.
Yeah.
You see like
and somebody starts like slapping it around, and she yells, "Keep away from my baby!" in this old lady voice, which I think must have been ADR'd in.
Yeah, I'm sure they were like, look, we need to make sure people get that joke. But like, there's lots of like little stuff that's a lot of fun in this. Anyway, we got a few other characters in this movie that we should mention. I am a big fan of almost everything in this movie. I think it's great, but especially Dana Kaminsky as Daniela Verducci,
yes.
Mario's girlfriend.
They could have gone with Pauline, but
I honestly thought like that they could have just called her Peach
Yeah,
because
would
I
have been
feel like
funny.
this
I
it would be
mean,
hilarious.
who cares? At this point, you were so far off from anything resembling the game.
I mean, she looks like she's the sort of woman who would probably be called Peach.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Feels like she'd be called
she's
Cookie.
yeah, yes. She's a brassy New York broad,
Yeah.
and
No, I love
she.
that every girl that they kidnapped thinking that she might be the princess is a little trashy.
I do love that. Yeah, they're all. It's like they're all these princesses. And it's like, well, they might be Jewish princesses, you know. But no, I love them, especially the one who's always got a cigarette. I love
Yeah.
that one. I love also when like Mario rescues them, and he's like, "You must be the missing Goyles." You know, they're just
Oh,
the missing Goyles. I love these. I love these broads. And they've all got such character. And this is a movie from back when movies did have like they took place in cities, like
yeah.
real cities. Like, you watch a lot of older movies and it's like, okay, look, I mean, Ghostbusters is New York. The
Yeah.
Big Lebowski is Los Angeles. These cities are like characters in the movies. And Mario Brothers is kind of like that. Like, New York is important. Like Mario is very much a New York. It's New York kind of Italian guy,
Yeah.
where he's like, oh, I hate the Knicks, and of course, all the girls, yeah, very New York. So they're lots of fun.
Of course, my
Um,
favorite is the one who's from Queens.
oh yeah, was it Crystal?
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's
I'm
from
gonna hold
Queens,
it
but
against
she's
her.
okay, they say.
Yeah. I also like there's a joke when they first arrive in Dino Hatton where they're like, "Oh, is this the Bronx?" Because I got the impression from like movies and TV shows that the Bronx was a rough area.
Yeah.
Because this variations of this joke pop up in like so much stuff from this time period.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, it's the Bronx.
I mean that it's a well known. I mean, you may have heard that in the like at the beginning of the century, Ogden Nash wrote, "The Bronx, no thonks."
Zing. Wouldn't want to be the Bronx right now. So we also get King Koopa has a couple of cousins in this, a couple of classic bumblers.
Yes. Now they seem to be filling the role from the games of the Koopa Kids, of whom there are 7. They cut them down to 2 and only use the name of one.
Oh, are Iggy and Spike different names for the same guy?
No, Iggy is one of the official Koopa Kids. Spike is a different Mario enemy entirely.
Oh, is he a Koopa kid or is he just?
No, he's a. I don't know. I'm not sure. How can I describe Spike? Let me see. Let me show you. We're going to do a little bit of that same stuff that we did with Captain N, where I show you where you get to compare the official Nintendo version of the character versus what he looked like in the movie. So Spike in the movie he is played by what's this guy's name? He's not Fisher Stevens, is he? I'm pretty sure that's Iggy. Yeah, it's Richard Edson, who what is he best known for? I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah, I guess so. But
Apparently, he was a drummer for Sonic Youth.
yeah. Oh wow. Well, that's actually pretty cool. But yeah, I think he's best known for probably best known for this. But
Yeah.
but Spike the Nintendo character is. I mean, can you figure out what this thing is?
A frog, I guess. Yeah.
The thing about
Okay.
Spike, he's called that because he literally burps up spiked balls to throw at you. Something that this
Oh.
Spike does not do.
So had he already debuted as a character in the Mario universe by this
Yeah,
point?
he was in Super Mario 3.
Oh, okay.
So
All right.
I'm pretty sure that the character Spike in the movie has nothing to do with this, and in fact, the name may be completely coincidental. Much like how
So,
I think that I also think the character of Big Bertha was named that without them knowing that there is, in fact, an enemy called Big Bertha in the game.
Yeah, isn't that just one of those stomping blocks or something?
Yeah,
Like, what
Big
is a Big
Bertha.
Bertha in the game?
Okay, in the game, Big Bertha is a fish.
Okay, all right. Now I remember. Okay. Yeah, the thing is, like, as a kid, I, I liked the, I would have liked the Save the Princess movie because we saw all the villains. We got to see
Yes.
all of them, and that's what I like to see. So when I was a kid and I watched this, I kind of just headcanoned who these various characters were supposed to be,
Yeah.
like analogous to the Mario Brothers movie, and I just took Spike and Iggy. I was like, oh, they're basically the Hammer Brothers. So
That
I
that
just
makes sense.
read them as the
Yeah.
yeah. I just headcanoned them. Those are the Hammer Brothers. And Big Bertha, is not a fish in this movie. She is a large a woman who a large
It is
large
one of the
black
funniest
woman.
lines
Yeah.
when they say, the lady with the spikes took it, and they go, was she corpulent? Very corpulent? No, no, she was just real round,
Big Bertha.
and they knew her
She
immediately.
Yes, she's a lovely,
She
lovely
is
woman in
she
this.
is voluptuous. She is pretty
Yes,
magnificent, actually. And I
she's
love how
she's
she is
yeah.
she is a head taller than Mario and really intimidates him. But at the same time, there is some, they have a pretty sexy scene together when they dance.
Yeah, I mean, they bring the heat. I like how I do like Mario's attempt at flirtation where he comes up and he's like, "It's me, Mario, your main man, your can of spam, your piece of ham, whatever."
Your Ramadan.
Yeah, and she punches him, and it's like, but then he asks for another, and that kind of wins her over.
Yeah.
I mean, then she does this thing where he's trying to, you know, steal the thing without her knowing it, and it is very funny when he like picks up his mouth and she kind of looks at him, he drops it, and it's also kind of like, well, doesn't she knows that's yours? She stole that from you, so she does know that you're trying to steal it back. This is not a shock to her, I would
No.
think. But she does wear this like kind of this red vinyl mini dress with spikes all over it.
Yeah. I've never
It's
seen
a
anyone
look.
wear anything like that in real life.
Look,
More's the
I
pity.
wish I wish I had a dress like that.
Yeah.
It's such
Make
a
one.
such a
Yeah.
look.
Shoot.
Maybe I will. Maybe I will.
What you need
But
is like that spiked foam for with the fingers popping out. If you can find that in red, you're golden.
oh yeah. I'm just curious. If I look up Big Bertha dress for sale, what am I gonna find? No, that's not it.
No.
That's not it at all. Wow. What if I see Mario Brothers movie? Mario Brothers movie. Brothers
Yeah.
movie.
Oh, did it show you
How
stuff
is it-
from Marvel's Big Bertha?
It just showed me it just showed me like weird like polka dot dresses, and it's like, oh, I guess if you're trying to look like a circus fat lady, I guess that's what you'd wear.
Oh,
but like,
feed
no.
Big Bertha. Right.
Yeah, it's like, no, I don't like, no. But no, it's an incredible look, and it should have been, if there's any justice in the world, huge for cosplay. But
Yeah.
I've never seen a Big Bertha cosplayer. No, she is a scene stealer. Big props to Francesca P. Roberts as Big Bertha.
Yeah,
You
if
might
this
also
movie
know-
had been a bigger hit, she would be a star by now. She would be,
Oh.
more than a star, a retired star.
Oh yeah. No, she is. She has presence. Now, as a kid, I did not remember Big Bertha the fish. I headcanoned her as a spiny. I thought she was.
That makes sense.
She's red. She's spiny. She's a spiny.
However,
Um,
I'm pretty sure that, because she works at the Boom Boom Bar, she is in fact supposed to be Boom Boom.
Oh,
Boom Boom
Oh, is
is
Boom-
a large, spiky red turtle that Mario fights in Super Mario 3.
Okay. I was
Who
not
does in
familiar
fact
with
have
Boom Boom.
big swingy arms, so you can absolutely see Mario getting punched by one.
Okay, so that fits. That makes sense.
And then,
But
about 20 years later, they introduced the feminine equivalent of Boom Boom, Pom Pom, who looks even more like Big Bertha.
oh yeah, that's very Big Bertha coded. So Big Bertha, definitely one of the highlights of this movie. I love that dance scene where
Yeah.
we get very like we get all '90s with it. You know, can't touch it, can't touch this.
Yeah.
Do the dinosaur.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they
Everybody.
have a special version of Walk the Dinosaur where they change the chorus to Goom Goom, Ackalackalacka Goom.
Oh, because of Goombas.
Yes.
Yeah, I just feel like this scene is so 90s. It's great, and it's the extended version that we watched added a deleted bit, which makes it even more 90s because Iggy and Spike do a little impromptu rap, which was something that was very cool back then.
Okay, I gotta tell you. Oh, like I said, I was a big fan of this movie as a kid, and I bought a Super Mario Brothers magazine that was like a magazine specifically about this movie and the making of and it actually had a whole it had a whole walkthrough of the entire plot of what happens in the movie with kind of like those Panini sticker books, except it had all been
Yeah.
filled out for you already. But
Yes.
but it had the lyrics to this rap, which is hilarious because the rap is not in the theatrical cut of the movie.
No.
It also says that at the end of the movie, before they defeat Koopa, his rage causes him to regress into a snarling prehistoric lizard. So we were going to see a more dinosauroid version of King Koopa, but we only see it for about a second in the final movie.
Yeah, because they use, but it's not because of his rage that causes it. It's because he gets hit with the de-evolver gun, which we haven't mentioned at
No,
all.
we haven't talked
Um,
about that. Yeah, the really interesting, I don't know, maybe this is like genetic punk because it's all about the idea of evolution and also evolution having a sort of like static chain because King Koopa has this devolution chamber which is manned by the guy from those Little Caesars commercials, the guy who folds pizza boxes into pterodactyls,
yeah,
and he and it you can set it to modern, Cretaceous, Jurassic, Triassic, and pre and cryptozoology. I forget what the other one is, but basically in the extended cut, you actually get to see him, take a random security guard who is later somehow identified as Toad, except that there's already another Toad. So
huh?
I don't know. Maybe this is like how all mushroom retainers are now called Toad. And
Yeah,
he
I guess
reduces him
so.
to sludge. He turns into a pile of diarrhea on the floor.
Yeah, yeah. You could go all the way back to the primordial ooze,
Yep.
and this is a wild piece of technology, and he's
We're
also
told he
used it
invented it.
previously. Yeah, he invented it, which is kind of you don't really think of Koopa does not seem like the sort of person who has the patience or brain power to invent things, but he probably stole it and claimed it was his because he is based on Trump.
Yeah.
And I do like that. Yeah, like you said, it kind of assumes a static chain that evolution has a fixed endpoint because you can advance it as well as go backwards. And going backwards, I kind of assume like, oh, I guess there's, sure, okay, but like going forwards, it's very much like that Star Trek episode where Janeway and Paris turn into salamanders because they advance evolution so much. But he does. We do get to see him advance because he puts Iggy and Spike in the machine and
Yes.
advances it,
Because
and it
they're
makes them
really
smart.
stupid, but then he makes them really smart, and of course, as soon as they get really smart, they become communists.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I feel like that's kind of like that's a thing that happens in movies a lot. I wonder why everyone just says it's a thing that we've all agreed on that like smart people are communists.
Well,
And it's like, oh,
think of all the really smart people you know. Albert Einstein, communist.
that's
Marie
true.
Curie,
Yeah,
communist.
yeah. I
Helen
mean,
Keller, communist.
true. I can't think of a single smart person who's not. So but I do like how Iggy and Spike, they also start doing the like smart guy talk. That you do when you're smart in a cartoon. Where it's very much like by my calculations. Blah blah blah.
I really like how when Spike comes out of the chamber, he goes, how peculiar. And he sort of works his jaw around. Like, it's like, oh, my head feels smarter now.
I do like how as soon as they become smart, they basically they become the goofy gophers.
Yeah, they do. After you. No, I insist after you.
It's entertaining. These guys are pretty, as bumblers go, these guys are pretty entertaining. I like that they bumble equally effectively as dummies and as smarties.
Now, the interesting thing about this whole thing about them being put in, advanced is that they basically got to write their own dialogue here because they were like, we hate being stupid. Let us be smart characters. And they were like, fine, whatever. So they shot some. So they had already shot some scenes with them stupid that they were able to leave in because it didn't make much of a difference if they were smart in that shot.
Wait, is that true? They just were like, we want to be smart characters, and
Yeah.
then they like changed it.
One of them apparently had a real had been like traumatized by having to play some stupid role and didn't like playing stupid characters after that.
That's funny. It's just like you hire a guy to play a stupid character, and he's like, I don't like playing stupid. It's like, well, why did you audition for this role? But that is fun. That like it's fun that this movie like was like such a ramshackle production that they're like, yeah, the henchmen don't want to be dumb anymore. All right, they're smart now. It's like, what? Okay. Oh boy. But no, they're a couple of like real bumblers, and I love them. Let's see. Who else do we got in this?
We
There's
still
some
haven't
other
mentioned
important
Lena.
characters. Lena! Oh boy, I love Lena. Lena is another one of my personal favorites. She is Koopa's. She's his main squeeze, I guess. His queen.
I don't know if they're actually supposed to be married. I can assume. I always assumed they weren't, but
Yeah, like she's his consort. I guess
she's someone he's gonna bury on his golf course someday.
Yeah. And I don't know. Again, I don't know that she's based on anyone from the Mario canon. I don't think she really is.
She's completely new. Yeah.
I just kind of headcanoned her as Birdo, to be honest.
That works. Yeah, if you're gonna have a Sis Birdo, she's pretty good.
Yeah. Now Lena is played with Scene Chewing a Plum by Fiona Shaw.
Yes. Mom Dursley.
The part a woman she plays to her strengths.
Yep. This is someone for whom instead of how when you turn 30 they start giving you the witch roles. She leaned into it.
Yeah. Oh boy, but like she's really poured into the outfits in this one.
And she has this extreme Gumby hair.
Oh yeah. She's like, well, I'm in the dinosaur universe, gotta have the big hair.
Everyone's kind of got hair that sort of suggests a frill.
Oh yeah, I can kind of see it. I like her. She is like kind of she's a really good match for Koopa, for Dennis Hopper's Koopa.
Yeah,
because she does feel like like equally evil and also perverted. Like she doesn't really. I don't know that she does anything perverted, but like she really comes across as a pervert,
Well, later in the movie, she in fact gets her hands on the rock that everyone's chasing, and when she wants to inform Koopa that she's got it, she goes, "Koopa, I want you." And he's like, "Not now."
Oh yeah. Well, she's as evil women are. You can tell them by their horniness.
Yes. Evil women are all basically Peg Bundy.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the thing is like she gets like when she gets the rock because she's evil, she's always like like erotically excited by
Yeah,
it. That's again, it's like yes, evil women. That's
yeah.
how they be.
She
Um,
doesn't devolve, but she does get electrocuted and get a Bride of Frankenstein streak in her hair.
I mean, it's only making her hotter,
Yeah,
know.
again, a real Triceratops frill going on.
Yeah, yeah. She's probably descended from the Triceratops.
That would be funny.
The
I
the
wonder
top.
if they decided what dinosaur everyone was descended from before they started the makeup jobs.
Oh, I mean, it would be funny if she was Triceratops paired with Dennis Hopper's Tyrannosaurus, because that's the classic, you know, old paleo art fighting pose of the
Yep.
Triceratops and the Tyrannosaurus.
We like to think
Which,
of it being the Tyrannosaurus and the Stegosaurus, but as you may have heard, Tyrannosaurus actually lived closer to us than it did to the Stegosaurus.
I mean, I always as a kid thought it was Triceratops and Tyrannosaurus because of the How and Why Book of Dinosaurs had a picture of them fighting.
Mm.
And when I saw Fantasia, I remember being like, I guess he might fight a Stegosaurus, but like, really feel like he usually fights a Triceratops. I really feel like Disney should have done. And I didn't know that they didn't live at the same time. I just was like, I feel like thematically he should be fighting a Triceratops. That's his arch nemesis. Everyone knows the Triceratops and Tyrannosaurus. They're like enemies.
Yeah,
It's
they're like squid and sperm whale. They eat each other.
yeah, exactly. So this whole Stegosaurus thing. Well, no wonder the Stegosaurus lost. Like, come on, it's not even a contest. But so yeah, Lena's great. Love Fiona Shaw in this. Very evil, very horny. No notes. Then we did mention Mojo Nixon as Toad.
Yes. Now, whatever you imagine Toad to be, they didn't pay any attention to that.
No, Toad is kind of like, kind of like,
Kind of a hippie street musician?
yeah, he talks kind of like the Jethro from the Beverly Hillbillies.
Yeah.
Cousin Jethro. And or kind of a valley guy.
Yeah.
It's just a strange take, but like he gets arrested for singing an anti-Koopa song again. Wow, Dino Hatton under Koopa seems very familiar to those
Sure
of us living in
does.
2026 America. But Mario and Luigi put up a fight because they know that is un-American.
Yep.
But
they still haven't figured out that they're not in America. They're like, it's like we woke up in Manhattan of 20 years from now. Or maybe the Bronx of today.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. Wait, what would be 20 years after 1993?
That would be 2013.
Oh, so not quite. But
no, that would be the Obama years.
Yeah.
Which, looks like, multi-ethnic people frolicking under a rainbow by comparison.
Yeah, like that would be so bad, but so it would have been like more like 30 years, 40.
So, yeah, 30 years later, 2023.
30 years?
Yeah.
2023, yeah, it'd be way different vibes. So they do put Toad into the de-evolution machine and it makes him into a Goomba, which also, whatever you're thinking of, that's not what we're getting here.
I remember my childhood magazine said, now every Nintendo junkie knows that in the games, the Goombas are nothing more than short, round creatures, more like walking heads than soldiers. It was like, yeah, they're mushrooms. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Who wrote this? Is this written by the person who wrote that Nintendo Power article about The Simpsons, who didn't know who any of the characters were, who called Principal Skinner the man holding a suit?
Yeah. Apparently, there's no requirement to know Nintendo games to work in Nintendo magazine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a walking head. Okay.
Yeah. So instead, the Goombas in this have incredibly tiny peanut brain heads and big, strong bodies. So, hey, all you Oz fans, this is what the Whimsies look like underneath their pasteboard heads.
Deep cut.
Very deep cut.
Yeah. The Goombas, they're basically, if you de-evolve people and make them real dumb but like real strong, give them tiny little most of them have like little kind of they have little dinosaur heads.
Yeah. Some of them have slightly more human heads. Those are the ones that they seem to focus on. So I'm gonna tell you, my head canon is that the ones with the rounded human heads, those are Goombas. The ones with the snouts, those are Koopa Troopas.
Oh, that would make sense. That scans. We do get to see the Toad a few times because he has a harmonica for some reason. I guess.
Yeah, he comes out of the devolution chamber and his new boss just slaps a harmonica over him. Why?
Yeah, it's like, oh, I guess because he's a street musician, they're gonna let him keep doing music. It's like, well, okay.
Yeah,
but
I don't think he was even using that harmonica earlier, was he?
No, he was. He had a guitar. So yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on there. But I guess they were like, look, we need a way that you can easily distinguish Toad from the other Goombas later in the movie.
Yeah.
Now he does. I guess.
Now, Toad the Goomba. Oh, by the way, when he becomes a Goomba, his name is Hark. There was no explanation for this. And they never use it in the movie, but in all the pre-production stuff, they say "Hark, the friendly Goomba," which I think maybe it's to hide the fact that it's Toad.
Oh, maybe that was supposed to be a big reveal or something?
Yeah, maybe.
Huh, okay. I mean, I can't imagine anyone getting excited about that. It's like, wow!
Now, the thing is, I can understand the idea of Toad being a Goomba sort of derived from, I showed you the Mario instruction manual earlier, and it said that that Goombas were turncoat mushrooms that betrayed the Mushroom Kingdom. So I was like, well, Toad is a mushroom. Does that mean that he could be de-evolved into a Goomba? Now, I see the connection here, but I mean, it got so far away from that in this huge game of telephone with people writing scripts based on other scripts based on other scripts.
Yeah. Again, there's not a lot of real connection to the Mario Brothers games as we know them.
No.
But still, it's fun. Of course, Frank Welker is doing the Goomba voices.
Yes.
Who else? He sounds like Slimer, as you would expect. And Unico from Dungeons and Dragons.
Yep.
It's the Frank Welker voice. You know it. And I guess also here's the thing is like there's a king, right?
Yes, we have the king who Mike, did you ever see the comic book continuation of Super Mario Brothers the movie?
No, I did not.
There is in fact a semi-official comic story that sets up what would have been Super Mario Brothers the movie 2, based on notes by one of the writers. And in this, we learned that the king's name is King Reznor.
Okay.
This is actually derived from a boss in Super Mario World who are Triceratopses called Reznor.
Huh. Okay. Interesting.
Yep. Just a little bit of trivia. Anyway, King Reznor is played by another one of your favorites, Lance Henriksen.
A little bit of a cameo there. His one line. And he is, and King Koopa had de-evolved him into fungus.
Yes. So that's what makes this the quote-unquote Mushroom Kingdom, is that Dino Hatton is slowly being choked by this fungus that keeps growing and growing and they can't get rid of. And once in a while, we'll try to communicate with Mario and Luigi, usually by offering them something.
Yes. And at the very end of the movie, when King Koopa gets killed, he re-evolves back into the king because, a standard thing that happens a lot in fantasy movies where the magic fails when the wizard dies.
Yeah.
It's a little strange because this wasn't magic. This was a machine that used presumably some sort of science and should not depend its function. Its continued effect on the world should not end when the guy who invented it dies, And
yet it's still a very video game touch. It's like how after Samus defeats Mother Brain, she has to escape from the exploding station. It's not like It's not like Mother Brain was like, the whole station was wired into my body. Though there might have been, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, also, there's also questions like, wait, so why is it that the king re-evolved, but the Goombas don't? Because
Yeah.
they all remain Goombas at the end.
I can only assume that
Um,
somebody got a hold of one of those portable Devo guns and just started shooting the fungus. That he was like,
oh yeah.
yeah, yeehaw, boom, Koopa's dead, woohoo!
I mean, there is a, there's a huge. Well, here's the thing. Okay, I'm gonna say something that's I think is kind of funny. Like, a few years ago, I saw this movie. I rewatched it, and I love this movie. It's a lot of fun. But the scene at the end, like Koopa gets killed, and everybody is like dancing in the streets, and they're like having a big old party, and they're like painting over the posters with Koopa's
Yeah.
face, and they're just like having a real blow up. And at the time I watched that, I was just thinking like, whatever, no one's like that in real life, because whenever a bad guy dies, people are like, too many, too many people are like suckered in, like, it's not like people actually get excited when like the dictator dies. Why would they? Most of these people probably actually liked him and voted for him. But now, having lived under the dictator, I'm like, no, actually, I can think of when someone dies, everyone's going to be really happy.
Oh
Like
boy, yeah. Oh my
another
god, it
Trump
is going to
analog.
put the party of the year 2000 to shame.
It's any day could happen any day,
We'll
any day.
exhale, we'll high five, we will know at last how great it is to be alive. We'll be lining up and buying tickets, and we jumping up and down on your grave.
God, imagine, God, it's the every day a little bit closer. Um,
Where's King
uh,
Reznor when we need him?
yeah, for real. Okay. Otherwise, we've got like also Homer Simpson has a small role as the narrator at the
Yes,
beginning of the movie.
the narrator who is not present in the extended cut. This is
No.
interesting. The extended cut has these really nice claymation dinosaurs that in the theatrical cut are replaced with kind of Mario Paint looking animated dinosaurs.
Yeah, yeah. I do like. I guess this is probably stock footage from some old movie,
It might
that
be,
they're
but
using.
it's so detailed that I think it might be new footage that was texturized to look old.
Either way, it's nice. It's some good stop motion, and yeah, I don't know why they switched it. I assume they switched it out because some suit was like, kids aren't going to know what's going on. Have someone explain it at the
Yeah.
beginning.
They literally tell you the entire plot of the movie at the beginning in the theatrical cut. I really prefer the extended cut where you get to work it out slowly because I mean they are talking about the plot constantly in this movie. They are re-explaining it to you, and people you wouldn't think would understand it. It's like Toad is the one who's like, "You guys are from another dimension."
Yeah,
How did you
so
know
yeah, you
that,
picked up on
Toad?
that. You can tell just looking at them. I do like when they're like trying to escape from Koopa one point, and he puts out like an all-point bulletin, be
Yeah.
like, "Watch out for the
Plumber
alien
alert.
plumbers." And Luigi's like, "Aliens," and Mario's like, "We're the aliens."
Oh,
So
cool.
it's yeah, it's a good time. But also again, I do like the retro computers that they use. They're very much like the computers that you see on like the Nostromo and Alien. Very what do you call it? Cassette futurism.
Yes.
So
Especially because your cursor is on these computers is guided by a gun. So you point at what you want, and then you click on the gun to go there. And I'm watching this now, and I'm like, did this movie invent the Wii?
this is where they got the idea. You
Yeah.
know. Um,
Certain things from this movie did make it into future stuff. This is the first place where we saw Luigi paired with Daisy.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I feel like at the very end, like two Japanese businessmen visited, and they were like, "We want to make a video game system based on this thing from the movie," because we do get a little post credit scene with two Japanese businessmen wanting to make a video game. And you know what? Let me tell you this: if you like 1980s depictions of Japanese businessmen, you'll love these guys. They're a delight. It's it's that you know
Well,
They do a lot of
Okay.
oh that sort of thing.
Did you hear what Miyamoto, the creator of Mario, said about this movie?
He no, what did he say about it?
He said, "It was a noble effort, but I think they adhered too closely to the plot of the video game. I would have liked to see them stretch and do something more different." Now you understand. This is where we get the idea of the Japanese being liars,
Um,
because in
um,
Japan, when you don't want to say something mean, you just say the opposite of what you actually mean.
I think he means he wants them to be more like the video game.
Yeah,
Is that what he's trying to say?
I can only assume because otherwise I'm like, did we see the same movie? Did they dub it much more closely for the Japanese market?
I mean, it's hard to know, like, because, like, if I, I would like to hear him say it because it sounds incredibly sarcastic.
Yes, it does.
Well, I think I do like that this is from a time period where when you adapted things to movies, you didn't really care. Like, you did not, the exactly how faithfully you were expected to do it was pretty up in the air. Because,
Yeah.
like, a lot of things that got adapted into movies back then were, like, pretty, tangentially related to the source material.
So the idea behind this movie, as I understand, is that this is what really happened, but Japan got completely the wrong idea, and they gave you these games instead.
It's kind of like the Dick Tracy movies, then,
Yes.
which we learned from Warren Beatty were completely inaccurate depictions of the life of a real cop named Dick Tracy.
But what I think is funny is that it's more like the the video games are what actually happened in our world, and Hollywood got them and got completely the wrong idea and gave us this movie. So the movie is the story of itself.
Wow, geez, it's getting real meta. Um, it's, yeah, it is. I feel like this is a movie that was definitely made before movies were like, before Hollywood was like, oh no, we can't like make the nerds on the internet mad, you know? Like
It's
back then, it's like, who cares? People get mad. What are they gonna do? Tell their friends? Psh.
tell their friends not
Post.
to see the movie. Oh, I'd like to see them try. Oh, wait, they are.
Oh well, they're like, oh, how are they gonna tell their friends with their mouths? It's not like they can go and post on Twitter about it. You know, go and post on your America Online account. They're like, you don't like the Mario Brothers movie. Boo hoo hoo. But yeah, in those days, you just kind of it really there wasn't much you could do to voice your displeasure at the creators of the movie, and therefore creatives felt that they could do any old thing in a movie. They could put women in movies back then, and what are you going to do about it? Nothing. Um, in fact, this movie has a bunch of women in it,
Yeah,
and
women who aren't in the game. They're putting more
yeah,
women in your video game. Are you mad? Are you going to cry?
yeah. It's like, excuse me, it's called the Mario Bros movie. It's not the Mario Bros and a bunch of girls movie. What's up with that?
Mario
Um,
sisses.
yeah, it's like, wow, this movie. I can't believe the Mario Brothers went woke. Um, But oh, you know what? That also reminds me of another thing that we did not mention is Koopa. Like I said, so many little things obviously taken from Trump,
Yeah,
but we didn't mention also his like gutter racism because Koopa is very racist against mammals in this movie,
yeah.
and that's
What is it
another
they're
very
descended
Trumpian.
from? It's mice or something. Apes or
Yeah,
monkeys. Ugh.
yeah. What an asshole! What a piece of shit! I just saw that 60 Minutes interview with Trump, and it's like I keep forgetting that like on top of everything else because I try not to see him, you
Yeah.
know, because I hate that guy. He sucks. So I try to avoid him as much as possible. But like I saw a bit of this interview and it's just like, wow, I forgot what an asshole he is. Like he's just a rude asshole, you know.
And that's what people
Um,
love about him. That is why, people who want to be rude assholes voted for him. They're like,
y-
yes, I have permission now. It's like, no, you
You
still
know,
don't. Just him.
yeah. I think people. You know what? I'm going to say it. I think that people who vote for Trump are kind of stupid. Oh, you know, I have economic anxiety. Eat my ass. Oh, we got tricked. Fuck off. I don't give a shit. Oh no, they're always sad. Whoa, boo fucking who? Every fucking Trump voter was like, oh, I get it. You're mad there was a black guy, so you're gonna do this. Fuck off. So fucking stupid.
And then the black guy's little white sidekick took off over, and that's even worse.
Yeah, it's like just
Because the next white president wasn't better than the black one, and that's the worst of all.
Yeah, oh god, it's just, I'm sorry, I'm tired of like listening to these fucking Trump voters try to like justify themselves, and it's like, you know what, just who cares? We know why you did it. We know why you voted for him. We all know. Just
we were there. We saw how you reacted. You know,
yeah,
how you started gleefully yelling slurs into the air because now you thought you could. You always could.
Yeah, you just were a bunch of cowards, so you wouldn't do it before. But I mean, here's the most charitable interpretation of a Trump voter is that they thought that this would just like be like, oh, we don't have to go to HR meetings anymore. You know, like that's the most charitable thing. They were like, oh, we won't have to do land acknowledgments anymore. We vote based on this. This is important to us. And it's like, that's stupid. It's so dumb. It's real dumb. You know what? I don't care if any Trump voters are listening. They can eat shit. Fuck
yeah. Speaking of which, you know, hello to all of our new listeners in Vietnam. All of our new female listeners, apparently.
Oh well, all the ladies are listening from Vietnam.
You know, nice to. We're looking forward to your comments, Tu Yen.
Let me just say on behalf of a special presentation, Ralph will not be seen by tonight. Lyndon Johnson is a very bad egg. So so you know. That's straight from Mike. So you know, just saying.
There's another dark puppet comedy for you.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I feel like Super Mario Brothers would have appealed to more people if it had been in the style of Meet the Feebles.
I think so. I mean, I think that this movie it appealed to me a lot. I loved it then. I love it now. I do think that it does show some obvious signs of being cobbled together.
Yeah.
Probably the most obvious one is the fact that like we do this towards the end. It really starts to kind of go off the rails. We get this bit where they're fighting in the city in this kind of floating like bucket that they have on a crane.
Yeah.
And then they go,
and people are like, oh, that's like the clown car that Bowser fights Mario in at the end of Super Mario World. It's like, whatever makes it easier for you, you know? Like,
yeah.
Mario and Koopa are fighting on a bridge with a bunch of fireballs shooting up past them. That's like in the game. Yeah, if you say so.
Yeah, it's not the game.
But the one thing from the game is here, the bomb.
They do have the bomb.
And it's actually very cute and very effective. And inexplicably is wearing Reeboks?
Oh, I guess maybe they had a product placement. Did they do that?
Maybe, yeah, days? I was like, who can be wearing the Reeboks? The bomb, sure, why not?
Yeah, everyone loves the bomb.
Yeah.
I feel like
we regret to inform you the bomb is racist.
I just find it funny of all the Mario villains to put in this is the bomb.
Yep.
Okay. Sure. But yeah, because the fungus keeps trying to give them the bomb. Yep. They set him up the bomb.
Yep. I watched the riff tracks for this too, and one of the best lines was, I like that movie where Dennis Hopper put a bomb on a bus.
They called it the bus that couldn't slow down. So they do this. Yes, they have this big bucket scene. Then they go to Manhattan so that Mario's nemesis can got with the evolution.
We didn't mention Scapelli.
No, no. Scapelli is kind of I assume, like a mafia guy who runs a bunch of interrelated companies, it seems, that are competing with the Mario Brothers, because
Yeah.
he seems to do plumbing, but he also does construction, and he employs a bunch of guys who dress like ice cream men
I guess he's a
to do
general
this.
contractor.
I guess so. I mean, it's very like New York, where it's like, oh yeah, obviously there's a
Yeah.
mob guy involved in that.
Yeah.
It's never said, but I mean, his name is Scapelli.
Yeah.
It's
Well, the
pretty.
old joke is, it's not true that New Yorkers are small. It's just that wherever they stand, Con Edison digs a hole under them. You have
That's
to
the way
assume
it
that
be.
somebody said, those New Yorkers, you know how small they are.
Yeah, they're known
Only
for
when they
it.
get hit and they go, doo, doo, doo.
Um, so yeah, this ending though, I kind of think they were like, oh, we got to do this, and then they're back to Dino Hatton to fight again in the bucket. So this whole thing is kind of like in the Pirates of the Caribbean, when it's like, why are they going back to the cave? Obviously, the script needed a little to be tightened up a little bit in this
Yeah.
area, but it's not a deal breaker. It's not
Some,
terrible. It's just,
something got inserted between two scenes that took place in the bucket.
yeah, exactly. And it's like I feel like there's probably a more elegant way to have the little Scapelli come-upons, but it's fine. It's fine. I like seeing like an asshole get his.
Yeah.
So I won't complain.
In the
Speak.
extended cut, Mario says that he grew up with Scapelli. That's an interesting
Oh,
touch.
yeah,
So
that is.
okay, here's my pitch for the Super Mario Brothers movie 2. Not only do we get to meet Wart somehow, I don't
Hmm.
know, but Scapelli gets re-evolved, and we see his advanced form, and he's a huge hulking freaky super Italian that doesn't remember his name anymore, and all he remembers is Ario, and eventually becomes Wario.
Oh shit, that's pretty good actually. Um, I think another avenue that you could do for a sequel, which they never would, is I kind of want to know more about Daisy's growing up,
Yeah.
because she gets she's
That
a
first scene, we didn't get to talk about that. The scene where her mother, also played by Samantha Mathis, delivers the baby to be left on the stoop of the nuns. And then we have the scene where the capsule opens up and there's a dinosaur egg underneath. And it's like, that scene works. That's
yeah,
like, I'm
yeah,
on board. I want to know what happens here. This would
yeah.
work even in a non Mario movie.
I mean, then the dinosaur egg hatches and there's a baby in it, and all these nuns start crossing themselves. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, you would.
Yeah, you really would.
It's like, what did you just see there? Some sort of fucking miracle.
Yeah, there had to have
So
been a big argument of, do we raise it or kill it?
yeah, I mean, generally it's like, because I mean, if I were a nun and someone gave me an egg that a baby hatched out of it, I'd kind of be like, this seems very antichrist coded. I mean, just saying, most babies don't come out of eggs. Just not a usual thing. So, but the way that it really feels like the nuns just never mention it to the baby, like, yeah, we
Yeah.
don't want her to we don't want her to have a complex about the fact that she's from an egg.
Yep.
So, because she doesn't seem to know it until Koopa kind of does like, you've always known you didn't fit in, and it's like, well, okay. I mean, if I were Daisy, I'd be like, yeah, I hatched out of an egg.
Yeah, she
No
didn't.
shit, I
If she
don't fit
didn't know,
in.
she hatched out of an egg, and we also never see her with any kind of belly-bearing outfit. So the question of her navel is not solved.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, gonna hope she has one, because otherwise, when like she and Luigi finally, consummate their relationship, it's gonna be like, what the fuck? What? You didn't tell me you didn't. Oh, that's gross. Oh, oh boy, I would not. Let me tell you, I would not. I would not with lady who didn't have a navel.
Oh, really? Hmm.
I would not. No, no. That's
So,
I don't
an
fuck with that shit.
important safety tip: if you ever want to have a chance with Mike, do not have one of those tummy tucks where they end up removing your navel entirely.
Oh, do they do that? Oh,
Yeah,
that's terrible.
terrible.
Oh, no. ladies, don't do that. It's like, why are you destroying God's greatest gift
Yes.
to
Do not
he
destroy the God's turkey timer to let you know when the baby is done.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, this is, I think, I if I were in charge of things, if I were King Koopa of this world, I would definitely outlaw that surgery. Like, no, you're not get none of that. Nope. I do not, like I'm like the meme where it's like the lady's like, the doctor's like, do you consent for this surgery? And the woman's like, I do. And I'm like, I don't.
Isn't there someone you forgot to ask?
Yeah, the most important person, me. Anyway, Mario Brothers. Well, let's
Well, I'd
see.
call them the Super Mario Brothers.
I like the sound of that.
Now, you know what I think would have made this movie work really well, that I think would actually solve all of the problems with it, would be
What?
if the games already existed. It would, coincidentally,
Mhm.
we have this pair of brothers named the Mario Brothers, and we have like this early establishing scene of the two of them, coming home from school as little kids, and then all the kids are laughing at them and pointing. Like, there they are, the Mario Brothers. They're like, what? What are you talking about? And they see like the first Mario Brothers arcade game, and they're like, oh my god! And it's our names. And they never, and we make it clear that they tried to have some kind of lawsuit against Nintendo, but it didn't go anywhere.
It would be funny. Like, yeah.
So then it established that these actual Mario Brothers have fallen into a weird mirror fantasy world of these games that Luigi is familiar with because he sits on his butt playing video games, and Mario knows nothing about.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that would actually be kind of fun. Um, I think, yeah, there's a lot of ways you can play around with the concept of, um, video game movies,
Yeah.
and I feel like actually, like, there aren't, most of them just straight up adapt something, but like very few of them kind of play with the idea of the game, of it being a game.
Yeah.
Um,
The Last
like
Starfighter does, and
it does, yeah.
and
Um,
so does Tron, and so does
hmm.
Wreck-It Ralph. Actually, I'd say most of them do.
Well, yeah, but those aren't adaptions of games,
Yeah, that's
of the
true. They are
games.
about video games, but they are not an adaptation of an existing game.
Yeah.
So, the problem here is that we're running into the same problem that they had with that Rescue Rangers movie. Because it's
Mm.
about, set weekday afternoon animation, but it's not the adaptation of Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers that people wanted. It's something different.
Yeah, that was an odd one to kind of do that with, because it's like, you just an odd idea.
It really would have worked a
I
lot better with Bonkers, but nobody cares about
mm,
Bonkers.
yeah, that's true. Because like that's the sort of thing you do when it's like it's a franchise no one cares about, so you can kind of get a little wacky. It's kind of like how like Space Ghost. Oh, let's make him a talk show host.
Yeah.
You know,
And that worked
I
great, and it actually ended up contributing a whole lot of lore to the show. I would love to
yeah.
see them do a new Space Ghost action-oriented series, but that took everything from Space Ghost Coast to Coast as canon. So, we have like an episode where Brack appears as this doomsaying prophet of despair, and Space Ghost arrives on his planet ready to fight him, only to find that he's just an excitable, neurodivergent kid with who is being bullied into doing this by Zorak or something like that.
Yeah, they're like I feel like a lot of like what makes a lot of those adult swim things work is it's like, yeah, those are things no one cares about. Like no one's going to get mad if Birdman is a lawyer now
Yep.
because there're not a lot of Birdman fans out there. And But one movie that I always was a little disappointed with, that disappointed in the fact that it didn't do something like this, was Dungeons and Dragons.
Mm.
You know,
The recent
because
one or the old one?
well, the movies, all of the movies,
All the
basically.
movies?
Because like, well, here's the thing. I don't know. Have you seen the Dungeons and Dragon movies?
I saw
I think there's a
the
few.
original one, the one with Marlon Wayans. I didn't see the most recent one, but I hear
Okay.
it's much better.
It is actually. I saw it on a plane, and I was actually surprised by how good it was. It's a lot of fun, and I think you would really enjoy it.
Huh.
It's a fun romp, you know. And I say that as someone who's never really played Dungeons and Dragons. But here's my thing: is I always thought like it's basically like it's like a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. Like a bunch of guys get together and they do a quest. You know, typical stuff. But I always thought they should make the movie with a frame story where this is a game being played by a bunch of people like around the table doing the game, and then we have the story within it with the characters in the game played by the same actors as the people at the table. You know, like and every cartoon and sitcom series has an episode like that.
Yeah, I
So
mean
just make it as a movie.
that happens in Welcome to Eltingville.
Yeah, it's a pretty standard thing. I'm just always surprised that like it's so obvious. It's like, come on. I mean, Jumanji kind of does that. So like, you
Yeah.
know, Dungeons and Dragons, you're made tailored for that. Come on, come on. So, but yeah, no,
I guess
it
the
is a good
problem there
movie.
is that who needs a movie to do that? And don't most people like watch those like role play podcasts where they pretty much do the exact same thing?
Oh yeah, but I mean, if people like it in a podcast, they like it in a movie.
I
And the
guess
thing is,
so.
at the end of the
Oh,
movie,
oh,
here,
really?
yeah,
Well, we should think about that.
yeah, here's the end. At the end of the movie, what you do is you turn to the audience and say, like, "Wow, don't you wish that you too could go on adventures like these guys? Well, you can with the awesome power of your imagination and the Dungeons and Dragons module available for sale from Wizards of the Coast or wherever fine games are sold." Bam! You just sold your product right there. You know. Um,
We
but yeah, we
greatly
should.
enjoyed your Dungeons and Dragons adventure, and we have a proposal.
Yeah, you should make the Iggy and Spike module. The Koopa cousins. That was the post credit scene with more Iggy and Spike. Why not?
Because if you didn't have that there, the last we saw of Iggy and Spike was Koopa ordering his men, kill them! And then they don't see again, so I was like, oh, I think they did.
Oh, that's right. I guess we had to tie up that loose thread.
Yeah.
Anyway, Super Mario Brothers Super Movie.
Paisanos?